Happy Equinox, everyone. My name is Marisa Gomez, and I'm the Public Programs Manager at the Santa Cruz Museum of Natural History. I am very excited to celebrate this celestial event with you all today. Today is March 19th, 2020, and at the time of me recording this video, it's about midday. And what we are going to do throughout the course of the day, leading up to the point of equinox, which is at 8:50 p.m. for us here in Santa Cruz tonight, is we are going to explore the equinox from a variety of angles. So on our webpage and on our social media accounts, you can find links to science articles about the science of the event. And through some videos, I'm going to share some other perspectives. So we are going to be thinking about stargazing tonight and what we are going to be able to see in the night sky tonight for the first evening of springtime. And also at sunset, I'm going to live stream a sunset stroll along West Cliff Drive so you can watch the sunset with me. And I will read some poems from Mary Oliver that celebrate both winter and spring. So today, just a little bit about the equinox. What that means is that at 8:50 p.m. here in Santa Cruz, it is going to be the exact moment in time and space when the sun is directly over the celestial equator of the earth. And what happens at that moment is there is an exact equal amount of daylight and nighttime. So half of the earth will be swathed in sunlight, and the other half of the earth is going to be shrouded in darkness. And for us here in Santa Cruz, it signals transition. The vernal equinox here in spring signals the transition from winter, mostly darkness, to spring, mostly daylight, which I think maybe a lot of us can take solace in at this time. Santa Cruz is experiencing a shelter-in-place ordinance, and so the museum is closed. I am working from home. This is me in my kitchen. We are practicing social distancing. And so it has a big impact on our community. But one of the great things about this time is that we are still invited, encouraged to go outside and explore nature on our own and in our own ways. And one of my favorite ways to be inspired by nature is to go out at night and look up at the night sky. And I just love not only thinking about what is happening in space with what I am seeing, but also thinking about cultural perspectives of that as well. So what I'm going to do is share some constellation stories with you that are from this book. So this is my field guide for the night sky. It's called Night Sky, a Field Guide to the Constellations, and it is by Jonathan Popelli. I got this book at Bookshop Santa Cruz. Thank you, Bookshop Santa Cruz. And I think it's just a great resource. All of the constellations that are in this book are organized by season. So you can think about what time of year you're in here in the Northern Hemisphere and go to it. So I'm going to start with winter. We are still technically in winter at the point of me recording this video. And I'm going to find the head honcho of the winter night sky here in the Northern Hemisphere. This guy has been super prominent for months and months and months, but not for long. We've got just a couple more weeks of the constellation that I'm going to share with you right now, which is Orion. So this book, when you find a constellation, you can see what it looks like in the night sky. You can find the stars and then see what it is depicted as here. You can also follow along with a chart that shows what months you're likely to see, this constellation in the night sky here in the Northern Hemisphere. And if you turn the page, you have more information about the stars that make up that constellation as well as some myths. So I'm just going to straight up read from this book because it's a great book. And we are going to start with this video with sharing the story of Orion, and then in other videos to come, I'll talk about other constellations that are going to be in the night sky tonight. So for now, I'm just going to hold up the book so you can follow along and look at Orion as I share the myth stories from this book. Filled with bright stars and straddling the celestial equator, this striking pattern has been a fixture of myths in cultures across the world since prehistory. The name Orion and the association of these stars with the hunter appears to predate Greek civilization by thousands of years, dating back at least to the Akkadian Empire of Sumeria. Although there is no central account of his life, stories about Orion are woven into many classical Greek legends. Various myths offer several major versions of both his birth and his death, along with fleeting references connecting him to many other constellations in the sky. One myth says that Orion was a persistent and unwanted suitor of the god Atlas's daughters, the Pleiades. At Atlas's request, Zeus transformed the sisters into stars to keep them safe. Orion is said to still be pursuing them across the sky. In another myth, Orion boasted that he was such a great hunter that he could defeat any beast. The goddess Hera called his boast by sending a tiny but deadly scorpion. Orion crushed the creature with his club, but only after it had delivered a fatal sting. The pair were both placed in the sky as a reminder of the cost of hubris. Other constellations sometimes associated with the hunter include his hunting dogs, Canis Major and Canis Minor, and his quarry, Taurus and Lepus. So tonight, after you join us for our sunset stroll and some poetry about winter and spring, take a look up at the night sky and see if you can spot our friend Orion. And stay tuned for more videos where I'll share some other constellation myths with you. Happy Equinox.